wanted to show you one of the biggest things that we see in the office is, especially with triathletes, it's a lot of knee pain. And so one of the biggest reasons why everyone's knees hurt are because our hip and our ankles are ball and socket joints, and they can go whichever direction. And then our knee is a hinge joint stuck in between. So if your hip and your ankle are pulling you in two opposite directions, that puts your knee, that hinge joint, at a really funky position. And as you can imagine, our body is not intended on being stuck in a funky position, and so it overworks in certain areas and underworks in others. And I wanted to show you some very practical things that you can utilize in your house. You might have something along this size. You can use a basketball, deflated slightly. You want it to have a little bit of squish when you use it, or you can use a ball, one of these sizes too. This one is going to probably be the most intense. Another concept I want to invite you guys to, as an athlete, the no pain, no gain is very prominent, but understanding that your connective tissue, which is the thing that is causing pain in your knee, it is actually very resistant to releasing to something when it is harder, more firm than the connective tissue is. So when the ball squishes a little bit, the connective tissue squishes into it, and it actually creates space like this, which is really, really important to overall healing. And the ball is not pressing into the connective tissue, and like a bully on the playground, the connective tissue doesn't push back because it doesn't know if it needs to keep you safe or not. So a lacrosse ball is not ideal. It also, unfortunately, sends collagen to that area and can increase the scar tissue. So if you have any questions about what ball to use, please let me know. You can text me at 208-949-3868, and I would be more than happy to help you figure out if you are utilizing the right ball. Otherwise, it is one of the biggest things that we see in setbacks for athletes, is wanting so badly to be pain-free, but overdoing it with the wrong ball. So there is that. I am going to show you with this ball today so that you can see what is going on. This guy kind of disappears under my leg. So we are going to work, I'll show you outside of the knee pain and inside of the knee pain, and things that you can do every day before a big ride or a big run. For inside of the knee pain, you will take the ball and you will take your leg will be bent at a 90 degree, and you will anchor your knee on the ball. I like to rotate I'm like in a front plank position. If I am over here, I'm gonna get much less of a stretch, which means I'm gonna rotate my shoulders back down towards the floor. I'll have you bring your toes up towards your nose, dorsiflex, and then you'll just raise your heel up nice and slow, and then back down. This should be pretty intense. And then raise up, and then back down. And I'll do a total of 3. And then back down. And now I will move the ball 2 inches up, a little bit higher. I'll still be crossing over and working on some of the tissue that I worked on before. Raise and lower. And here's my 3 and lower. It's really easy to hang out and take too long waiting for that connective tissue to release, but oftentimes it's the next one, either the next spot that we will connect that will release the tissue, or it is a completely different stretch in total. So I'm just moving 2 inches up higher towards my hip every single time, and raising and lowering my heel 3 times for each movement. I can work all the way up into my hip, and if you have back pain, this is also really good for back pain. The higher you get up towards your hip, the more you will release your low back. Once you have 2-inched your way up towards your hip, have one more, all the way up nice and high. That is a really good one for the inside of the knee pain. Another one is calves. So getting your calf enough space so that you can move correctly, either mobilizing before a run or after. I like to use my opposing knee, cross the same knee that I have pain on over. So I'm gonna poke around until I can find, ooh, that's a good one right there. That's my gold spot, as we call it in Rossiter. And I can either stay here and just use the weight of my leg, or if you want a little bit more, you can add a little bit of compression here, and then you'll just point and flex your toes for 3, and then draw big circles, one way 3 times, and then the other way 3 times. Good. And now I'll find 3 total spots if I have them, but I've been doing a really good job with my calves, so I'm not really finding too many hot spots. There might be one right there. So we'll go point and flex for 3. Ooh, I can feel it clunk. It's a sign it's a good spot. And then big circles. And then reverse. Something I really want to emphasize is only doing 3 points and flex, 3 circles one way and only 3 circles the other way, and only anchoring 3 total spots. And like I don't have any more on this side, so I won't do a 3rd spot. You can overdo it. And so just giving your body enough energy to just know that that's not what you need right now and move on. So a lot of times when I do calves, I like to do them bilaterally and find all the gook on the other side. So as you can tell, I'm just palpating around, and then I will point and I will flex. Find my 3, and then circles one way, 2, 3, and reverse. 1, 2, 3. And calves, no matter what, are going to be a huge part of ultimately healing your knee pain, because they encompass the ankles. So we covered the inside of the knee. Now we're going to cover the outside of the knee, and a lot of that has to do with the hip. So once again, with the gold ball, I wonder if I'm going to think about anchoring the top of my IT band, and then I will rock forward. So I'm in a side plank to a front plank, to a side plank to a front plank. And now I'm going to incorporate bending my knee to a side plank and a front plank and straighten. Bend the knee, side plank, back to a front plank, straighten it out. Come up 2 inches, bend your knee, side plank to a front plank. This will incorporate your whole quad. It feels really yummy. Bend your knee, side plank to a front plank, straighten the knee out. Bend your knee, side plank to a front plank. So if you figured it out by now, as you bend your knee, this is the beginning of one. This is halfway. As we rotate, stack our hips, and then rotate back down. And as we straighten out our leg, that is 1 full repetition. So we will do that 3 times every single spot. And then we'll move down 2 inches again, bend the knee, rotate, rotate back down, and straighten it out. There's 1 for my spot 2. Rotating down, bend the knee, rotate, rotate back down, and then down. And then you can do 1 more. You can go all the way to your knee as long as it's something nice and soft, like this ball. If you are using a foam roller or something much more intense, make sure you stay 2 inches away from the knee. And what that could look like is just 2 fingers above your knee to keep all those insertions and attachments nice and healthy and safe. And last one. Good. Nice. I hope you enjoyed this Roll It Like Rossiter session. If you have any questions at all, please let me know at 208-949-3868. And I would love to meet up with you or share some videos as far as what you are doing, if it's working, if you need some tweaks and adjustments. Each and every body moves in a different pattern. So sometimes you need a little bit of a different stretch to keep you mobile and happy and without injury, which is the biggest part as an athlete. Injury is no fun. So staying away from them and then learning how to recover from them if we ever fall into that. If you are experiencing pain and you feel like this isn't quite cutting it, we would love to introduce you to a full-blown Rossiter session. If you are interested in coming in and scheduling your appointment, you can also text that same number, 208-949-3868, and we'd be more than happy to help you schedule your first initial Rossiter session, where we can also dive in deep and show you all of the other fun things that you can do for your specific body, for your specific movements, and to keep you healthy and happy. Have fun, athletes. See you soon.